Hello, good morning everybody. I don't know if it's morning for you, but for me it is. I'm going to show you a short walk around on this area here at the top of our land. And I wanted to show you how it is developing since we have installed it about 3.5 years ago. 3.5, 4 years, some trees a little older. Now, bananas are coming up. And what I wanted to share is something specifically interesting to mitigate with grasses are these comfreys that are planted along the edge. And they are basically super good at creating this little 1 meter area, so they're still small, but 1 meter area of dense shade. And I purposely didn't plant them in the tree row, but I planted them on the edges, so that makes it possible for me to cut it down very easily without damaging any trees. And you can see how that is actually a beautiful way to mitigate with grasses that are trying to grow into your tree rows. So anything that is being pruned from the areas here in the middle, for example, can be dropped right at the base of your trees, or you use small plants here like that to come through that. But this is awesome to shade out any extra grasses. You can see there are still potential grasses here getting light, but eventually they will be shaded out, as I have seen great examples already on other areas. And especially the fact that we can easily manage this without worrying too much about cutting something down that we don't want to cut down. You can see here, this is a moment where you see, this one is getting the shade already. So this is where these plants becoming almost too big for the middle line. Well, there's still here a willow coming up, and even some corn and some rosemary. But we will let this grow, I think, double the size, and eventually the effect will be much less grasses to manage in your tree row. So you can see really this effect of shading even the middle. But when I remove the plant right here, you see this is where the plants are. I don't have to damage any drip line. I can just chop it right there. And the nice thing of comfrey is that it comes back really fast. So it's a constant chop and drop. Now this system, if you look good at it, has lots of interesting species to support it. So this is the willow, really strong stem already. Series 3. This morning there was a really nice rain, a little bit of we're in June, and that can happen in June here in Portugal, but it's always really welcome, a little bit of rain. And has been an exceptional winter with lots of rain, but the rain normally comes in the winter and then it stops, and now we have a nice humidity here. So this is a quince, you can see it's coming in quince, and this is a poplar. So you see the density of the support species. This is I was showing you here Groselha das Açores, or Cape gooseberry, a nitrogen fixing, berry producing bush, and has been pruned so many times already. They give a lot of organic matter. So here the support species are extreme. This is one of our, even banana coming up there in the middle. And there's a cherry, a little bit overgrown. Not a little bit, quite a bit. It doesn't matter, it's still good. And you can see here poplar again, look at those leaves. A lot of organic matter being produced here. So those are a bit of our initial mistakes. There's a fig. You can see there is edibles coming in this system. The further we go along, you will see the more there is available. Now this willow again, I really love these willows. They're really, this is a variety that goes straight up, and it's easy to prune. Yeah, so every support species has a specific way to prune. Obviously, I mean everything is pruned the same way, but in a sense, but the way you can manage the material is different. So willows, as you might know, they don't break so easily. So you cannot, if you have pruned it, not just make bunches and break them and throw them under your crop. So sometimes you have to cut them a few times extra with the scissors, which makes it more work. So on the other hand, if you look at poplars, for example, over there, you can chop them once and break them up by hand really easily. So there's a difference in every type of mulch crop you have to imagine. So here's a mulberry, can also be used for mulch, but obviously we take first some fruits. So here is a willow again, and the fig. You can see the fig is already really tall coming into this system. Again, so a poplar, and here you see again also below, not that well established yet, but they're coming, you know, they're coming everywhere. You put them every 50 centimeters a piece of the root of the comfrey in the ground. And there's other plants you can do the same thing with. The same effect of creating this border right next to your crops. Look at those apples, beautiful. Now that effect of creating a border against or shade corridor basically, for the grasses to not infiltrate, and you can see here they are the grasses, but the system has survived already for a long time with all these grasses. This is an initial mistake for me to not have managed these grasses and mulched it very well in the beginning. And since then I'm basically correcting it. Here I was a little bit better at mulching since the beginning, although there still is some grasses. But you see they are not so, they really have more shade, so they don't really have a big effect. Now here the anona or chirimoya and the fig and the poplar, willow. What's so cool, this chirimoya has already given fruit, and it's beautiful flowers. Look at that. Now mulberry also abundant, very big. Look at the stem of this tree. So, and the yucca coming below, pomegranate. So it's here very dense, and there's mamona, and even still on the edge here, a quince. Looks like it could need a little bit more light, you know. But it's all thriving, and look at the density here. This is, and there's even here something on the base, which is a nitrogen fixer, Albizia if I'm not mistaken, and it comes in between, so it came a little later. So normally they would be going for the light, being a little earlier, but you know, it all works out. And again, so that's the comfrey as a really nice beneficial, let's say, mulch crop. You can do that with crops like these as well, yacon, but I didn't have a lot of yacon, and I kind of think yacon will be removed out of a system much faster, and it doesn't grow back so fast as comfrey does. Comfrey is more all-round in this climate, so those factors all make a difference. Obviously, here you get some curcuma or turmeric, and verbena, pajoa right here, apples. Look at this verbena, beautiful. Oh wow, first pomegranate, I didn't see that. So yeah, that's how a system can look like. We have been growing lots of annual crops in the middle here. Yeah, these annual crops are not there now because we just are focusing on the area below, as we didn't have much time here. But it is not an impossibility to still grow annual crops here. You can see there's plenty of light, and so that these are just management choices. In this case we have a lot of grass coming and we mow that and we give it to the tree line as a sort of a minimal management on this system. And besides that we also get our chickens, they come in and graze here. You can see that right over here. Now here you see a comfrey plant that's seriously developed. There's a chicken tractor and the chickens are clearing now this area right here. Peek in the tunnel, see the cucumbers. They're coming along. Look at that, beautiful. Maybe something to share. This is actually not cucumber, this is mini cucumbers. And what I wanted to share here maybe is interesting. We work with these clips. And then we had a lot of pressure of the grasses here. So we have a strip here we can mow with our lawnmower basically. We have a nice small electric battery lawnmower which just passes in between. Here I don't have that option, so I might have to lift the plastic and mow with a weed whacker now and then. Yeah, those things come with the complexity of having a tunnel, that you kind of have to find ways to, if you don't want to use too much plastic, which we already do here. But this system here is a different story. We do normally strawberries here. At the moment we have still some surviving crops in the winter. Now the bananas are in our nursery situation. Oh yeah, one thing I really like to see yesterday is that we get already a flower here on the banana. So look at that. Wow, right? That's amazing. This is serious. So beautiful. I'm curious to see how that develops. So that's the one that's a dwarfing species, the one with the flower, happily, because the other ones, they just don't get to flower. They hit the roof before they can. So when I slowly walk down, you get you the other perspective. Some things are still in transition here. As you can see, some plastics and all I'm cleaning up. But this is the part I wanted to show you, where everything is green and lush. Look at how this system is. Yesterday I did some pruning on the middle line to get some light in on the apple trees. Well, this is the original soil. There's been football as well. But if there wouldn't be football, the grass would have been a bit more greener probably, but still you can see the original soil. And that's all implemented here with compost. And look at how it responds. This system is younger than the one I showed you above, so this is 2.5 years. Yeah. With less mistakes, less beginner mistakes, I'd say. So I should have shown you actually how it was yesterday, but now it looks a little bit more arid. At least there's more light coming in. So this November it was cut there, and we're now in June, and we're getting more than 1 meter growth already. Here the same. This one here, yesterday pruned on many places. There's a thick layer of mulch right here. Well, there's some old oak seed that I had in a bucket from one of our plantations. I just dropped it here. But yeah, beautiful yacon. And this is where we started a new tree line already during the course. So we have 6 meters between our main rows. We started with 1, 2, 3 rows, and now we did a 3-meter row in between that. This is how close we will get with our 3 rows. Not gonna go much closer than that. It's a nice little mix-up of crops. We normally don't mix that much in a row itself, but this was during a course, so we wanted to emphasize on the fact that it's not a problem to be diversifying your system and really go for, yeah, so there's eggplant and broccoli and tomato. So this is the point where the system is looking pretty healthy. We use some vermicompost and that helps a lot to make the systems quite abundant. There's coming some banana over there, and yeah, I hope there will be also lots of tree species germinating eventually, because we did put a little drip line and we also did put many seeds. Let me see what's that. That's something I don't know. Might be just a weed, might be some of the tree seeds already. Very curious, because normally we start off here like this system here. We started off with cuttings and yeah, trees that we bought, some of them at least, and then a lot of seeds. Here we didn't do that. Here we just did only seeds and a few banana pups. So that's. I just came across a video where I learned Ernst Gutsch saying that bananas in the initial stages of the plantations are not such a good idea. That they're better in the third or second year to put into the tree row. That's what I did here actually. These are went in, well, actually in the second year, yeah. And when this system was already bigger, you can see this poplar tree. It's quite amazing. You're thinking about 2.5 years growth. With here an oak tree. They're making this funny. Actually, I still have to investigate what they mean. But yeah, all this guava or acai and yeah, pomegranate, poplar. What do we have here in the base? Some comfrey in the middle. So comfrey in the middle is not advisable because you basically also put probably lots of seeds, and if the comfrey comes, you have to cut it back, and you might actually cut down also those seedlings. So it's really advised to put the comfrey on the edges. So in this system I didn't do that on this side yet, but I did try to do that already on the other side, so I can show that to you. So here I put it fig and grapes and casuarina. Here's sort of a row of casuarina. You can see that right here. They're really coming along nicely. Has sort of a windbreak, and that helps to protect this system. Yeah, so here you can see it is quite similar to the system I showed you above. This one is actually the one we planted first. This is literally 2.5 years. Literally, yeah, I'm saying it good. Literally, maybe not, but very close to that. So this one is beautiful because it's loaded with peaches. You can see here all the peaches, and it's quite cool. I see that the poplar giving this really nice shade. So when the sun comes from 12 to 3 o'clock. So this is the south-facing side, and then so these lines are from south to the north. This makes sure that in the winter we have plenty of light here between for all these annual crops, and or this, yeah, let's say not all annual crops in this case, but the whole point is that they get the maximum sunlight. So and then at from 12 till 3 o'clock you have this intensity of sunlight, right? Especially in the summer, but even in winter days the sun is strong, and that is where these trees all basically shade each other temporarily, just to create this moment of protection. And that's just a few hours in the day when it's really hot and really intense sun. They all get shade from each other, and then in the morning the sun hits nicely on the sides, and then they shade each other, and then in the afternoon they get again the light from the side. So yeah, that is quite interesting if you're thinking about annual crops. In this case there's taro, so it's not an annual crop, it's a perennial, but we're actually growing it as an annual crop. I'm still experimenting with taro, so I'm not really sure whether I'm going to leave this row for next year and letting it expand, or I will harvest at the end of the summer, beginning of winter, to then use most of it to eat and plant rest elsewhere. So yeah, this is then maximizing the possibility of sunlight coming into this system. So if these rows would have been the opposite like that, you would really have these areas in between with more shade than you want, at least in this type of climate. So maybe in the desert climate, in this tropical desert, I say tropical desert, are those existing tropical desert? I mean the places on the equator where there is deserts, but there should be rainforest maybe. And yeah, so they might need maximum shade, but we don't. This is also interesting to show before I end this video, because we're getting really far in. We have here some catalpa or cigar trees, and they're coming up everywhere, and I really think they're an interesting crop for chop and drop. And you can see they went in by seed, and look at how they all are performing in this row. So this is the one row I didn't prune yet yesterday. It's more weedy, you could say. There's celery going to seed, and there's brambles making fruit, beautiful. But there's also blueberries in there and all that I kind of want to give more light now. So this is the moment that I'm going to give this system a little bit of help. I want to interfere and make sure that there's not too much shade, and all that mulch then goes down to feed the system. And yeah, look at that beautiful moisture on the leaves. I really would like to go show you the area where we don't use irrigation, but I'm going to make another video on that. And it's pretty interesting. We have a system since November, so we're now in June, and March we also planted a row, and we're now in June. So at that system I can point out right from this end of the land here and point you downhill. You can see the flowers over there, and everything is thriving since then. We have corn plants, beautiful. And zoom in, look at that beautiful system, like a painting, right? So thank you for watching, and yeah, I hope to get you to make this video soon and also upload that. Thank you for showing interest in all this, and hope you keep on growing and get a lot of things going for your system. In the meanwhile, we got a lot of work here being done by the ants. I don't know what they're doing, but definitely is all looking pretty harmonious. And so go for that balance, go get the diversity into your systems, and look at how beautiful nature can express itself when you let it. All right, see you in the next video. Thank you, bye bye.